The conference call here at the Liberia National Police Headquarters. Today, we deem it necessary to brief you on issues and the game the Liberia National Police have made in the fight against crime. We'll be reviewing issues from the Monrovia alleged viral incident, the 704 community in the Dubo Road alleged viral incident, and additional information regarding the arms that were discovered at the people of Monrovia and other reviews from around the country. On this note, I'm pleased to call upon the communication head of the Liberia National Police, and Moses Senior, for the briefing. Thank you.
And so, like he has told you, this invitation is to give you further update on our previous press conference of confiscation of arms and ammunition, both at the Free Port of Monrovia and in the Monrovia community, at a home of a Liberian American that is based in the United States of America. So in furtherance of that, the inspector and seizure operation in the wake of discovering more arms and ammunition that were brought to this country. And so that operation was carried out on Saturday, and it is of interest to inform you, members of the press, that we're able to also discover additional ammunition on the container. And we discovered 1,000 what these ammunitions are used. You're welcome.
Yes, I'm Secretary of Police, Peter Fullerwood, Chief of Operation Small Arms Company in the Liberia National Police. Now, see, during the first search on the container, the other rounds and ammunition were discovered. For still control a cultural check, this is why I'm looking across these pellet rounds. See this pellet round, it can even be used in our local single barrel. So they will even use it for other business purposes, to sell it to other people, like where they have these short single barrel going all the time. You can see with other people, you know, that they sell rapid bullet. So this round can also go in it. There is a pellet round, and they use it also for hunting. Can also be used for hunting purpose. So, and these were discovered there. One pack of this is 25 units. So there is 5, 25, 25, 25, 25, 25, as you all see here.
Yes, so thank you so much. And the total of these rounds sum up to 1,000 pellet rounds. And so in the last press conference, we displayed to you those high-grade military weapons. Please lower your monitor. We displayed to you those high-grade military weapons that were discovered both from the container at the Free Port of Monrovia and that of the Monrovia home of, the suspect that we are seeking after for arrest and prosecution in line with these arms and ammunitions. So it is our commitment, like the Inspector General told you, the motive behind the bringing to this country of these arms and ammunition is established, and that appropriate legal actions can be taken in protecting the peace and stability of our country. Of January at 10 a.m., 3 individuals were attempting to enter Liberia with this huge sum of counterfeit, 500,000 Liberian dollars. And they were intercepted at the Waterside border point. And these individuals include Sekou Kane, a Liberian, 37 years old. Mohamed Kamara, also a Liberian, especially with the confiscation of huge sums of counterfeit. It is important that as you do your business transactions, you be very, very mindful of the banknotes that Liberia was releasing these banknotes to the public. They did a lot of awareness on features on these banknotes. So it is important that you do counter checking just to be on the safe side so that you are not duped in the process with these counter notes. So we are urging many of our citizens, there's counterfeit money on the market. So as you receive these monies, please try to counter check before you do business with these individuals. It's also important for us to inform you, Liberians and residents, we have started, like the Inspector General announced, a very rigorous operation of taking off flashers and tins from vehicles. And I want to re-emphasize, we have started a rigorous operation of taking off flashers and tins from vehicles that are plying our streets, especially to carry flashers and tins on your vehicles. When you parade your vehicle in the streets, when your vehicle is intercepted, we remove those flashers and tins. We are going to remove them. That is why we are signing. And so we are urging our citizens to take note, citizens and residents, especially the driving public. Distinguished members of the press, we're also pleased to inform you that the Liberia National Police has launched a full-scale investigation, and we have assured them of our commitment to ensuring that the perpetrator of said act will not go with impunity, but will be made to face the full weight of the law. When crimes are committed, sometimes people wonder, when are we going to make arrests? How long is it going to take? When crimes are committed, it depends on the free flow of information that we receive that will lead us to effecting arrest of suspects. So we are very much optimistic that the general public, or you may say the community, the surrounding community in the Peaceland community, will give us useful information that will lead to the arrest of this suspect that carried out such act. No matter how long it takes, said individual will be arrested. Distinguished members of the press, the Liberia National Police has so far arrested one Cyrus Logan, 16 years old, in connection to the death of a 31-year-old female identified as Alpha Gray, whose body was discovered on the 6th of January in an unfinished building opposite the Dupo Road 704 nightclub with multiple wounds on her body. Suspect Logan is presently in our custody at the headquarters of the Liberia National Police and is undergoing investigation. And for the sake of the openness of this investigation, we brought in the suspect that is undergoing investigation for display to you members of the press. I would just appreciate you can stand him up there so members of the press can have a view of this young man that is alleged to have carried out such an act of the deceased victim, Cyrus Logan. Thank you very much. Cyrus Logan is being investigated
authenticated by our investigators, he will be duly charged to court to account for said action as committed in the 704 community in Dupo Road. The remains of the deceased victim, Alpha Gray, has been turned over to the family for burial. Distinguished members of the press, it is also important to inform you that there was also another incident occurred in the Kesali Barrack, Camp Kesali Barrack, Robertsfield Highway, where a male identified as Gentle Brian, 16 years old, was discovered dead on the 26th of December in a lagoon around the PX Post Exchange within the Kesali Military Barrack. The coroner of Monrovia County was dispatched as per our usual procedure. Coroner examination was conducted on the remains of the deceased. In other words, physical examination was conducted, and the coroner report points to the fact that little Gentle Brian died as a result of alleged drowning. And so it is important for us to inform the press, because one of the newspapers, specifically Front Page Africa, made a publication in this direction and was concerned as to what led to the death of little Brian. So the coroner report says alleged drowning. Distinguished members of the press, I'm also pleased to inform you that Liberia's footballing celebrity, James Salisa Diba, had gone on social media and some of the local stations reporting that our Deputy Inspector General, Honorable Marvin Sakor, deliberately prevented him from entering this SKD stadium when Grand Bassa and other teams of Deputy Inspector General of Police for Operation under Marvin Sakor, on grounds that his allegation very unfortunate and said was done on the basis of mistaken identity. We want to say to our footballing soccer star, James Salisa Diba, allegation on an individual, it's important you cross-check your facts before coming to the public. We have a very gullible social media public where some people are not concerned of digging up facts about information that are placed on social media. They run with face value any information they see on Facebook. That's why it is important for us to cross-check our facts before coming out to the public. We remain very much resolute, distinguished members of the press, or thinking about orchestrating a ploy in undermining or derailing the peace of our country. Said person or persons will be dealt with robustly. We are not saying this because we want to brag. We are saying this because we have the support of the international community. We have the support of the Liberian people. The Liberian people are tired of war. The Liberian people are tired of public disturbances. We want peace. And that is why this administration, under the leadership of Honorable Patrick Sudu, will do everything possible in our own reach to ensure that we will robustly deal with anyone who attempts to undermine the peace and stability of this country. And so, distinguished members of the press, I want to say thank you so much. If you have questions, you are welcome to ask your questions. Thank you so much.
Okay, my name is Winston. I have two questions, police questions.
Good afternoon.
My first question has to do with the mention of counterfeit that were intercepted by individuals at the water side. We want to know who were those that intercepted that particular money. And the money in question, I think we are not seeing the money to convince the public whether it's counterfeit or wasn't a counterfeit. My second question has to do with the first press conference. You said there was a guy who was arrested in the city at the time people spoke about this particular and up to now we cannot lay eye on the guy who got arrested from the city in Liberia.
Okay, so again, like the saying goes, when you go to the church date, sometimes you have to be very careful how you raise, a song. In our last press conference, we displayed Ezekiel here, and the rest of the folks that were here saw him. Okay? Ezekiel? You didn't see him? He's here, he's currently downstairs. If you want to see him, there's no issue about that. If you want to see him, Ezekiel is here. He's under the custody of our anti-robbery unit. Okay? So if you want to see Ezekiel, you can see Ezekiel. We can make Ezekiel available to you. Okay? And also what I'm going to do, as head of press and public affairs, I'm going to work with talk show hosts, because there has been this misconception that has been spilled in the public about the validity of the information we are putting to the public. There are some individuals that are claiming this is some orchestration, and they don't believe it. So we will put some of you journalists will put you in contact with the shipper who has this container at the port, so that you have some kind of an interview, because the shipper is quite different from Baker. All right, Baker was just someone who sent boxes for the shipper to send. So we'll allow you to have a conversation with, the shipper of that. So it's actually we have at the border when we have the joint security. They were the ones that confiscated the counterfeit. Thank you.
Hello, thank you. My name is Secret and Report for Dr. I have two questions. Another one's a follow-up from a situation in Monrovia County. You talked about the removal of things and other items of vehicles that are considered unauthorized. So can you kindly tell us what qualifies for it to be considered as authorized versus the criminal thing?
So the Minister of Justice, the Attorney General of Liberia, for anyone who wants to use any of these materials, like a tin or flasher, the Minister of Justice, via the minister, has the authority, gives approval, to individuals within the state on a need basis, right? However, there are provisions, there are individuals in our state who are exempted. And those individuals, you're talking about the VIP and the VVIPs. Those individuals, like you're talking about the president, the vice president, the speaker, those are people who are exempted from such, restrictions. Other than that, anyone that wants to use these materials, we have to make application to the Ministry of Justice.
And next question in relation to the confiscation of those arms and ammunition. I heard earlier from the last press conference that there's some kind of bilateral discussion to have the alleged person extradited or prosecuted. Can you give us progress?
So like the Inspector General said, this is diplomacy. We at the level of the police cannot dictate the course of diplomacy. We want to give you an alert that
We're going to work with, our diplomatic heads to see what is, possible in terms of either extradition or prosecution in America. However, when we get to the point where you need to be informed, we'll definitely let you know.
Okay.
Thank you.
The development from Lofa County about the death of a 13-year-old who was discovered with her genitalia possibly extracted. Has the LNP got any information on that?
With our investigation,
one of the civil bearers or practitioner remote husband was also discovered dead.
So those investigations are ongoing. Appropriately, hopefully, when we make progress, I will definitely let you know. Thank you.
Yeah, okay. My name is Onea Phillips. I work for the New Liberia newspaper. One question, please. There's a confusion about the person the LNP said is responsible for shipping the arms to Monrovia, one boy Baker. Another information has it that there's a boy Baker in Texas and there's another boy Baker in Minnesota. We just tell, which one of the boy Baker are we talking about here?
Well, in our last press conference, we told you the resident of Boy Baker in America. We told you Boy Baker lives in Texas. All right? Boy Baker lives in Texas. As a matter of fact, we've already obtained the passport information of Boy Baker. All right? So, every other development relating to this investigation will be provided to you members of the press for public consumption. Thank you.
Yeah, my name is Valerie, and I work for LNP. I'm concerned about the crime suspects that we heard about last Thursday concerning the issue of arms coming from the people in Liberia. So it's legal of 48 to 72 hours. Why are you being charged by police in Singapore? Because that's a question of rights. Probably a video of course to be placed with LNP.
You are asking a very sound question. But let me say this. We are aware that we have 48 hours to keep anyone in our custody. We are very much highly aware of that. And so there are provisions in our investigation that provide that. If we must keep anybody beyond 48 hours, I'm not saying keep them at the level of the police. But if there's need for extension of our investigation, we usually will have those persons signed for temporarily while the investigation continues. In this case, that is exactly what we've done. Yes.
Yeah, good afternoon. My name is Kelvin Devin, work for Prime FM. I'm concerned about your comments about suspicions of war. In your latter comments, does this mean that the information you have gathered so far has convinced you, that these weaponries were brought for warfare?
Well, Calvin, good question. Again, like we told you in the last press conference, we said these weapons that were displayed or that are being displayed are military-grade weapons. So when you have military-grade weapons that are being brought to the country, it should speak volume, and so the coming to this country of those, or bringing to the country of those weapons is not something that we take lightly as a joint security. We take it very seriously, and that's why we said if anyone wants to plunge this country in any, backwardness of war, those individuals brought in by the police, like Barbara, Diba, Ezekiel, and Vina Pine. Mavina is the broker, the custom broker of the owner of the container in America. One Sam Kamara is the owner of the container. And then Ezekiel, according to Ezekiel, he works
night, another kid inside him. After pressing the town, they're calling me back and forth like 2 times. How if we can't find the police into that situation?
Yeah, you see, it's a kind of delicate situation when crimes are committed when the police is not around. And people will expect that the police will just apprehend the suspect right away. So it takes collaboration, cooperation, and coordination. So as I speak to you, the police there is working with the locals. However,
suspect being arrested, all of that information will be provided to you subsequently. But we are making efforts to sign it. Thank you. So we'll take one more question. You have to.
Yeah. My name is Joseph Yakula and I report for Capital FM. During the last press conference, we told that Benjamin request from the American airline, and then she did not call the name of the airline. That's wrong. During the close of last year, there were a huge quantity of bank notes that was arrested by the police. So we wanted to bring up the purpose as they relate to where is the bank notes now, particularly 500 bank notes on Facebook.
Oh yes, those bank notes are being turned over to the Central Bank of Liberia. Usually that's a procedure. Whenever we confiscate, we go to the regular investigative procedures and then we turn over to the Central Bank of Liberia. So the issue of the name of the airline is called America Airlines.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. My name is Melvin Jackson. With your current preliminary investigation, like Fabian said, we go on this, I'm saying they continue to come and say that report. What have you gathered from those that you arrested? That is the motive of this ammunition. What have you actually gathered from?
I think you listened to the press conference. I said we are interested in understanding the motive, but as I speak to you, we're still talking to those individuals. I said we're still speaking to those individuals, and once we get something tangible, we definitely will let you know. Okay? Thank you.
Captain.
Yes.
Yes, Mr. Carter, I'm Anthony, and I work for Ebola Radio. On the issue of Afia's death, what was the confrontation that led to Afia's demise?
Who?
Afa demise.
Afa?
Yes.
Well, that's why we are investigating. The investigation is actually going to establish what happened that led to her death. And I just told you that we have the suspect in our custody, and that's why he's being spoken to. So the outcome of what he says is definitely going to be captured in our charge sheet, and you definitely will be informed.
Has the LNP gotten any photograph of the LNP smuggler so far, apart from just the passport?
The smuggler? Yeah, like I said, we have his passport. Okay? Thank you so much.